Okay, so now we're recording. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Google is much more aggressive than they used to be about sales pitches.
Yeah.
Like even their paid search team is basically a sales team that sounds like they're giving you paid search advice. So sounds like you got the right amount of cynicism to approach them.
Yeah. Kate is the one, Kate, when you called about our sharing externally and it was them just trying to get us to upgrade something, right?
Yeah, it's disappointing.
You're muted.
I said, right. That's what it usually is.
You're embarrassing me, Kate. Jeez.
Ah, Kate. My friends are here.
Lavani, were you saying something?
Oh no, I didn't say anything.
Okay, I thought you were I thought you were asking a question, so we'll make sure we get. Okay, so let's try to summarize this question about GA4. I mean, we're just generally confused about GA4.
Well, I think I have figured it out, but it is very confusing. But I do think I have, if you want me to give some insight on what I found.
Yeah, because one of the things I noticed about what you shared with me offline was I think there's a couple of variables here. One is, what do you do with an existing site that's running Universal Analytics?
Mm-hmm.
That's a different question than, okay, if you're setting up a new site and you're adding code for the first time, how do you handle that?
And then you also though have to consider sometimes when there's a new site, sometimes GA4 is the only one that is set up, and you do need to set up Universal Analytics as well right now. That was one of the other things I was doing.
So setting that up concurrently.
Yeah, so for right now, I'm wanting to make sure all of my clients have Google Analytics, Universal, and GA4.
Right.
And I had one that had only GA4 and one that had only Universal.
Okay.
So,
well, okay, so let's take and then we're confusing this further because we're adding it to Tag Manager rather than using some sort of default feature, which is always a best practice. I think it'll behoove all of ourselves. Gosh, that was a terrible way to say that. We'll all be glad that we did it in Tag Manager.
So that helped when I did my website. I did use Google Tag Manager for my new site that I just launched this year. And that made the process a lot easier for me when I added GA4. So I would recommend, if you're looking at adding this, to just go ahead and put Google Tag Manager, put your Universal in it, and then do GA4, and it'll be an easier time.
So that's if you're starting from scratch.
Well, I would even say, no matter what, if you're just using Google Universal Analytics and you just have the script, maybe, and David, so how would they do that? So they wouldn't get it twice? Would they need to put Tag Manager on and take off the script for Universal Analytics?
Right.
I would probably recommend doing that, because then, I mean, I think Google Tag Manager is really a good way to kind of have everything in one place and not being confused about what you do and don't have. So, that's what I would do for sites that you're either just setting up, or sites that only have Universal Analytics. That way it's easy to set up the Universal Analytics for.
Right.
That's what I found on my site.
Okay. And you did find something that seemed to imply that it's one code that can add for both Universal and GA4.
If you use Google Tag Manager. So that was the key that really, it's not clear.
Yeah.
Because when I read that, so I had two sites that I was working on mine, and that's how I was looking at real-time data to see, okay, is the code working? And that's how I determined. So on my site that uses Google Tag Manager, I have Universal Analytics and was adding GA4 with this assistant in Google Analytics to add that. And when I went through that, I just stayed there and did not add any code to my website. It automatically knew that, because I said I'm using Google Tag Manager, and it connected. And I can see in GA4 and my regular Universal Analytics that, like, if I'm on the page, it says you've got one visitor. But now when I did the same exact assistant with a site that did not have Google Tag Manager, it did not work.
So when you log in the tag manager on the site with which it worked, are you seeing?
I didn't do that. Was I supposed to do that?
Well, I'd be curious if it just went ahead and
I
added it in
can do
there.
a screen share and log into my Google Tag Manager.
Yeah, why don't you log in first before you share your
yeah.
screen?
Yeah, let me look, because I guess that would make sense.
Well, I'm curious, or Leah,
Yeah.
how they're handling it, because I just tried to create a new tag just to see what happened, and I'm seeing 3 options to add: universal, GA4 configuration, and GA4 event.
Okay. So, okay, let me share my screen. I'm hoping I'm in the right one. Share screen. Okay, can you see Google Tag Manager?
No, I can't.
Okay. So, tell me where
So on the left side, tags.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. I'm wondering if I'm in the wrong page, the wrong Google Tag Manager
Scroll down.
account. I think I'm in the wrong account. Because see, I have, let me stop sharing for a second,
Sure.
and then let me go out to a different
That looks
account.
like a bunch of events.
Yeah, and so I think. Okay, this is it. This is it. So I need to make a note of that, yeah. Okay, you can see it now?
Yes. Okay. There
Okay,
we go. Universal
so
Analytics.
this is what I just did, and I need to delete this one here because I need to work on this. But anyway, so here's my Universal Analytics.
Right.
And it was added 2 months ago when I launched my website.
Right.
But now if I go to like GA4 for this, I did not add any code, and it is showing it data. Let me,
okay.
Whoops, hold on. I'm trying to get to it.
And
can you see
use
now?
the wizard within Google Analytics admin to do this.
Yeah, I'll show you in just a second. So, so this is my and I added at the end GA4 just in case I didn't understand it. I'm going to shut my door because my lawn people are here.
Okay.
But I did not do anything except for click on the GA4, the wizard, and see it's showing that you know, because I was just on.
You're not sharing your screen right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Share screen. Share screen. Okay. So so this is GA4. So I just went through the setup wizard, and because I added Google Tag Manager, added Universal Analytics in with the Tag Manager. Then how do I here? Okay.
Yeah. So there you are.
Yeah. So then it's showing here. So that's how I, kind of compared them.
So
And
go back
said-
to Tag Manager for a second
Okay.
and click on the Universal Analytics. There.
And it did say that if you said, I read something that if you have Tag Manager, it's gonna this is gonna work. You're not gonna have to do anything else.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Yes.
When should like the rest of us do GA4?
You should add it now, but not use it for reporting now.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, because
Happy.
we don't know when Google's going to roll this out, and it would be really nice to have all that historical data
Yeah.
when it rolls out.
And that's one thing it does tell you when you add GA4, it says, by the way, even though you have universal analytics, GA4 will not show you any historical data. It starts from the day you add it. So they tell you that when you sign up, of course, if you don't know to sign up, so.
Yeah. So it's just the best practice to go ahead and do it. It's not going to hurt or harm you in any way. In
Mhm.
fact, you never have to look at it until Google says, up, you got to move.
Yeah, until it confuses the devil out of you like it did last night. I'm like, oh, I'll just really quick sit down and do it.
Mhm.
That didn't work.
Yeah.
But doesn't force you to switch over? You can have
No, so
two.
let me show you. I have both. So okay, so this is my GA4, my Google Analytics 4. And here is my regular universal analytics. And then it will switch and go back to universal. So it's just a view. It's a property.
Well,
Excuse
so
me, property.
Universal has views and properties.
Yes, and
GA4 only has
GA4 does
properties.
not have views. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So
So
one of the
it's-
questions we have is, how do we set this up? And it sounds to me that if you have Tag Manager and Tag Manager is already serving up Universal Analytics, you can use the wizard within the admin of Google Analytics to just change and create a new view, new property
Yes,
with
and
GA4.
so what I did was so I'm in my thing here, and so then I clicked admin at the bottom, and see it says GA4
Yeah.
setup assistant.
Yeah.
That's under property. That's where I went to do it, and it worked smoothly to add that GA4 because I have Tag Manager. Now I have another one that I don't have Tag Manager. I'm going to have to figure out the code and add it in to the website.
Yeah. See, I thought I did this and it didn't start tracking.
Yeah. Maybe they changed it because I don't know. But I
Yeah.
just did mine last night and that's what it did. But
Okay.
it's extremely confusing because they make it look like they're going to just create tracking when it did on my one with Google Tag Manager, but the one that I know does not use Google Tag Manager, it acted like it was like you're done. And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's not tracking. So it was very confusing to me on that part because I kept thinking, well, maybe I'll wait the half an hour for it to get going. It didn't.
Well, and
Point of an update to make it easier to use. Like what you're saying, it's all more complicated. Like
Yeah.
well, one of the benefits they're touting with GA4 is it's real time. Whereas Universal, it can take 24 hours to get data.
Yeah.
So if you do a conversion for testing, unless you're using the real time report, you won't see it in reports. Or when you're doing monthly reports, you really should wait a couple days into the month if you're going to reflect
Yeah.
traffic and leads. or
The
sales.
one thing I am not sure when I did this, David. So I don't remember which
Yeah.
view I did. So like you have to be in a view on Universal, and these are actually now all the same for me because it's a new
Right.
website and I haven't changed anything, so that's okay. But I would watch if you have any filters. I would just make sure you do it. I would think on your raw data, right, David, or your master view. I don't know.
Well, you test, so I think they're gonna do views very different in GA4, and I haven't messed with it yet,
Mhm.
but there's not gonna be testing and stuff like that because you
Yeah.
can't have a view.
Sure. I guess I'm not sure though, like, so when you set up you go into your admin, you go in, well, that's right. So it's through the property and not the view that I'm setting it up. So I was worried, well, did I set it up with the wrong view? And so maybe it filtered GA4 to even set it up, but it doesn't look like, no, that's not
Right.
the case. Okay, I was confused.
Yeah, okay.
Can't imagine that.
Well, I mean, we're all confused because the documentation is very limited.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
But I'd say if you have Google Tag Manager already set up, it should be an easy thing by going into your universal, clicking admin and doing the setup, and then checking your real time with both of them.
did you say that at some point while you did the setup assistant, it asked you if you had GA or Tag Manager on your site?
I don't know if it asked me or if it said, if you have it, it'll be easy. I don't remember if it asked me or what. But then like, so then if you like click on, so this is my regular universal. And so if I click on GA4,
Yeah,
it tells you, it says, okay, it's connected.
yeah,
And then it says, see your GA4 property, but this is where it gets confusing. So it's telling me it's connected. So then it's like in here, it's like, this is your new GA4 property, tag installation. Well, they're telling you how to set up a tag, but they're telling me it's already connected and it's already gathering data. So this is where, to me, it got really confusing. So I think if you don't have Tag Manager, you need to follow this part
yeah.
and do the tag installation.
Okay.
But it's weird though, because both of them that I set up, both look the same, and one's working because I have Tag Manager and the other is not because I have not added the information yet, the tag to their site.
Right.
And that's, this page here is, I think, what really kind of confused me once I got here.
Right.
Because both of them say connected, but one was working and one isn't. And I now know the difference is one is using Google Tag Manager, the other isn't.
Yeah, I'm trying, I think I have a site we can do a live test, and you know how well
Okay.
live tests work.
Okay, do you want me to stop sharing?
Well,
and-
Let me,
yeah, silly me said, I've got 10 extra minutes tonight. I'm going to sit down and add GA4. Yeah. Right. That didn't
okay,
work.
here we go. All right, I'm gonna just look at something
Mhm.
real quick on a site that I seldom use. Okay. Okay. Oh, all right. All right. So let me go and we're going to do a test
I'll be right.
of a site that does not use Tag Manager.
Okay, does not. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay. All right, we're loading this up. And okay, so I'm going, okay, so here we go. So here is a site that has Google Analytics, but not Tag Manager. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, all right, we're going to just go here. And we're going to try to run this and see if we can do a test.
This one does not have tag manager, GTM.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do the GA4 Setup Assistant. I want to create. Okay, because we don't have GA4 set up, we want to create a new Google Analytics 4 property. This wizard will create a property. Okay, this property is
This.
without historical data, which is why we want to do it today so we can start having some historical copy. It will copy basic settings from your universal property. So I wonder what basic settings mean. Is that
Yeah, see,
filters?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, but
Oh,
it can't
you
be
can start
filters
manually
because,
configuring settings like conversions.
okay,
So it won't copy conversions, which I found to be
Okay.
true.
yeah.
Activate enhanced measurements. Enable wizard data collection using your existing tags.
So here's the thing though, is that on one of mine, this area here that has the check mark was grayed out. And I couldn't, it didn't give me that option.
Interesting.
And on one it did. So,
I wonder
I don't know
if
why.
I unselected this or couldn't select it for some reason, and that's why I had to create a separate one, but I don't know why that's correct. So this seems to imply to me the wizard can also enable data collection
yeah,
using the existing, so you don't have to change your tags. You just start collecting data.
yeah.
Right? So let's
And see, I'm wondering if it was something about the other one that did not let it, that was grayed out on one of them.
right. So now you have successfully connected your properties. See your GA4 property. Okay, I want to see my property. Okay. So this is the property.
Mhm.
And so I'm just going to go to home in the property. I don't want to start your tour. How do I get out of that? Oh, there it is. So we're, oh, it's trying to get to it. Oh, now it's going back because I clicked too much.
So we don't have to add different code to the website.
That's
It
what we're trying to
depends.
figure out.
Part of it, it depends. One of mine I have to, one of mine I didn't. And
I'm trying to figure out if I need to email Steffi to add code. Or if
Well,
I
that's
just
what we're
need to work.
trying to avoid
yeah,
because
So-
if we can. Okay, so right now,
but see, doesn't it take like,
oh, wait. Here's the real, oh. Let's see what's, it says next steps for setup. All right, I got it. Okay. Stop. Okay. So let's all go to dizzysoft.com
okay,
with making sure you're doing it from a browser that does not use Ghostery.
okay.
So I'm going to, I'm just going to open a new tab in a new window, and I'm going to do it here, and we can watch Dizzy, DIZZYSOFT.com. Okay, I'm viewing the home
I'm
page.
viewing. Do you have to wait a
Okay,
little
there we
while
go.
for it? Oh, it picked up. Okay,
I'm on there too.
so it's now
There's
there's two. So
two.
it just takes just a minute. Okay. So it that's working now. Remind me, David, you do not have Google Tag Manager on this.
I do not have Tag Manager on this.
That's weird. How come it? So there was something about one of the ones I did that was grayed out and would not let me select that. Weird. Okay.
So it's page views, but it's not showing me your locations
Yeah. Or
or mine. There
I'm
we go.
wondering- it maybe it takes a while because it
Maybe it just
disconnected.
takes a while. Or maybe we got to click a couple pages.
Yeah, maybe I have to do something.
Okay, because I'm on
Take
there.
action.
It's-
It's only picking up Alley, but
Well, now I got two dots, but it's blurry.
you know.
Okay.
Oh shit, that's weird.
Katie's
look.
on it. Okay, there.
And now it's
there. I
getting
bet you this
more.
is me.
That is
Okay, now it's got
scarily
me. Now
accurate.
we're on here.
Okay.
Just took a second.
Or this is Lavanya because I'm technically not in Charlotte.
Okay.
So,
And that's me.
okay.
Joanna.
So it just takes a little bit of time, but we've confirmed.
That is scary accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now you know why Google's free.
Yeah.
Like you can see me, Kate, you're on there too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Oh
so
my
let's
God.
try another website.
It's so creepy.
So this is more of a personal website. So don't judge me based on how ugly it is. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment while I log in.
The world's last Renaissance man. Explain, please.
Okay. That's why I didn't want to show my personal thing. Now I'm feeling violated and vulnerable.
I'm wondering now why the other one I did didn't work, if that one didn't have Google. So that kind of flew my Google Tag Manager theme out the window. I may go and unconnect it and reconnect it. I wonder, I don't know.
Trisha, I know that you had a long list of in Tag Manager, you had a long list. It's making me think maybe I set mine up wrong because I only have
No,
one.
it's not you, it's me.
Oh, okay.
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 Yeah, not you, me.
Is that what you were talking about? You added Tag Manager to different social medias?
Well, no, that's something different. That was, I think, for my landing page that I don't know what I was doing in there. I did it a while ago. And then I realized that was the wrong Google Tag Manager account.
Oh, okay.
The correct one just it has the universal analytics. And then it also has this local business schema, which I need to fix because Tag Manager doesn't do that well. So I need to get a few minutes here and there and fix that.
Mhm.
So.
Okay. I'm still gonna go back through and make sure I did mine right.
Yeah, no, that wasn't you, it was me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now we're finding some interesting things here. All right, so let's see if I can. All right, I'm trying to find. Okay, I think I found a site with Tag Manager. I'm going to just confirm. So it's very exciting to watch me type. I know.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Okay. Good. Let's see what this has. Interesting. Okay.
I'm wondering if they have updated this, David, and it wasn't originally where you added it in one click. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
What? Go ahead.
Well, I'm
try.
just thinking GA4 that, this assistant, I'm wondering if like you originally always had to, for GA4, add the code, but now they've changed it where that kind of integrates with universal code.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's newer.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. Okay.
Maybe they realized they were confusing people. And so instead of saying, oh, this is something new, try it this way, it's easier, they just confused us more.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, what's new? Okay. So very interesting. Okay. So we're going to try a little experiment here. And I'm going to try a couple things. So here's a website that's set up using Sitekit, and it also has Tag Manager, but it's not using Tag Manager to serve Google Analytics.
Mhm.
Okay. So what I
Okay.
want to do is show everybody how to migrate into Tag Manager.
Okay.
So that way we can have this documented as a process. So right now, if I just go to settings within the Sitekit plugin, analytics is connected, Tag Manager is connected, right? And if I go into Tag Manager, it's empty. Okay. And if I go to, all right, we're going to go to Zimmerama, which is the website. All right, that's GA4. Okay, so
What websites do you have?
a lot.
Zimmerama. I think that's my favorite so far.
You like? Oh, yeah. It's inspired by Futurama, the greatest animated
Mhm.
television show of all time.
Yeah, I'm not fighting you on that.
Okay, so let's just go in real-time analytics on Zimmerama. Don't visit the site yet. Oh, there has been somebody. That was probably me. Visited the site just a few minutes ago. Okay, so what we're going to do is create a Google Analytics instance using Tag Manager. And first thing we do is we go to tags, because we're creating a tag, we hit new, and we type a name for it, Google Universal. Tag configuration is really easy because we click tag configuration and then we can select what we want. In this case, we want to move Universal Analytics to it. Track type by default is going to be page view. And so we need to set a settings variable. And so we need to create one, and that's going to be the tracking ID. Now, normally we wouldn't want to share this with everybody, but we're going to do it. This is the property. So, we could put it here and be good. But what is a best practice to do, because we might need to use that variable somewhere else later, is we're going to create a new variable. This variable we're going to call property ID. The variable is going to be a constant. This is all programming stuff, and we're going to put it here. So what we've done is we've created something separate called GA property ID that we can reuse in other places. So for instance, if we need to create an event tracking thing, we don't have to remember the code. We can just use it again. And it inserts GA property ID here, save. Save. And save. Oh, and it reminds us we have to add a trigger. So a trigger is, when will this execute? The answer is all pages, because we want the analytics code on all pages. We hit save.
So, question.
Yeah.
What that variable? Why are we adding that?
So we're future proofing ourselves in case we have to use that number somewhere else later.
Okay.
We could just put the number in where it asks for it, but if, for instance, we wanted to track clicks of a PDF, we'd have to create a separate Google Analytics event, and it would need to know what that code number is. So now we can just pull that code number as a variable into that instance of a tag, rather than have to go to Google Analytics. What is it?
Okay.
It just makes life a little easier. We can skip it if we want to, but that's what we're
So-
doing.
Are you saying like that anytime we add analytics to Google Tag Manager, we should probably do that?
I would just in case. You may never use it, but I would do it. So we're not done once we've created a tag. We have to tell Google Tag Manager to deploy it to the live site. But as a best practice, what we will do first is preview it. Oh, okay. So it's telling me that because I've never published anything, I needed to do that. So now I've published an empty container and now I can preview. So what this is going to do is tag me, or it's going to send. And so now it's opened a new window. But you're only seeing this window. There we go. Okay, okay. So now I'm going to change to the preview window. This is debug information.
I'm sorry. Do you guys hear the background noise coming from mine? Or no?
And so if I click around, I should see in my live that it's working. It's not. So I'm going to it didn't show up, and go back Tag Manager, and I'm just going to go ahead and submit it. Now, when you submit Tag Manager, you have to give it a name. And we have to publish Tag Manager so it sends the information to the site. So now we actually have, if you're paying close attention, we have two instances of Google Analytics on the site. We have the one set up by SiteKit and the one by Tag Manager. So now if everybody goes to zoomorama.com, we should see everybody getting 2 visits using real-time report.
Oh, Marietta, that didn't even
There
say
you are.
Atlanta.
Didn't take long.
Yeah.
And there you go, 2 visits. You see that? That it's not 1, but 2.
Ah,
Because I
yeah,
have,
look at that. It
2
doesn't even say
instances
Atlanta. It
of
tells you
Google
exactly where I am.
there we go. Now we got it. Look at that.
That is so creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. So because I have 2 instances, I want to
I am so glad you shared this website with us.
Oh, you're gonna learn all kinds of stuff about me you didn't want to know.
Oh,
Really?
I was like, what are you
Really?
talking about?
I immediately started scrolling.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Uh-oh.
embarrassed. Anything to do. Okay, so now I have officially removed Google Analytics from my site and only Tag Manager. So now if everyone can click around a couple pages, don't read them too closely, we should see one. There you go, one. There we go. So everybody's giving one visit now because we only have one instance
Yeah.
of Google Analytics on the site. Now we're running out of time, but if you're able to stick around, I would like to do our real experiment here. So we verified that we are only serving Google Analytics using Google Tag Manager. And we saw how to migrate, at least from the SiteKit plugin, into Tag Manager. So now, because I know you're scintillated by my personal site,
I'm really into this Lego exosuit article.
that's an awesome
thing you
Lego
have
set.
going on.
That's Lego made a
Is that their
comment.
actual
They
response?
found it and commented.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. But what's more amazing is the GA4 Setup Assistant. So we're going to try this here and see if this works. So what we found is we want to create a new GA4 property. Interesting, not connected.
But because this is, you didn't connect this one, did you?
Oh, right. Okay, that's what that means. Okay.
Yeah, not, yeah.
Okay, there
so
you
we'll
go.
check that.
So it
Yeah.
auto checked for us.
Uh-huh.
So I wonder if, because it's the GTM and the new Google Analytics code is GTM, that allows that. But let's just go and follow the steps. So now we have a new GA4 property. I don't know why I just clicked that. Let's see if it goes to where we want it to go.
So David, when I added Tag Manager to SiteGround, I think it stopped. I don't think I finished setting it up right. So I'm gonna go back through it this weekend. So I'll have some questions next week for you.
Okay. Well, and with the SiteKit plugin, which is what makes this really great, installing this, then you go to connect more services and you can pick. I've already set up Tag Manager on this, but you'll see it here, and then you can click some buttons and it will add it for you. So, but I'd already done that when I got here. I don't want to tell you that real time. Come on, give me some real time data.
Now I'm gonna go back through this when you post it
Yeah.
today, and I'll have some questions for you next week.
Please,
I
please.
think I did something wrong.
No, please do. Okay, so now if everybody could go back to zimmerama.com and we can compare real-time universal. You're still reading about the exosuit.
No, I went back.
Okay.
Jeez, I was doing a deep dive.
Doing a deep dive, huh?
That one may have been me.
All right, so we're gonna look. It did take a second for the data to get here. So now I'm here. I'm going to click a couple things. But we're not seeing any data in GA4. So right now, look, you're clicking here.
Maybe not a good time, sweetheart.
Oh, I forgot I wrote about Firefly.
Mhm. Yeah, I clicked on that.
I love Firefly. So that's really interesting. So it should, by what we did last time, should be working.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just delayed. Let me just purge my cache. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, well, I mean, that's long enough that because clearly GA4 isn't set up.
Yeah, which
Some-
is weird.
Something
don't-
is very odd. And if I recall, it was the same steps we followed.
Mm-hmm.
We had everything
Yeah.
in Tag Manager. We verified that the analytics was running. But
It's
now-
almost like it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, and this is where I was when I set these up for my clients, and that I wasn't getting data in GA4, so I went ahead and set up the GA4 tag in Tag Manager,
Yeah.
which isn't hard. Because now to do that, all we have to do is go and create a new tag. GA4 configuration. But why it's not working?
Yeah, because we didn't have to do that a minute ago.
Oh, this is Big Brother. Now I can totally watch a user visit the site. Oh, Allie was scared when I saw individuals. Now I can follow people.
Mm.
This is
You
also an
have a-
answer to your question about how do you track people?
You can essentially like see where I live.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Yep. I don't know how precise it is. I mean, it's still
That
a
was
big-
pretty freaking precise. That
There's
you
a
were showing.
circle, but yeah, it's all right. Still, again, yet we've still not gotten anybody tracking. And just to confirm,
Yeah, there it is there.
there it is. Right now, there are 3 people on the site. In Universal, GA4, Bupkis.
Nobody.
So what I'm going
Weird.
to do is give this a couple days and go back
Yeah.
and see if there's more data in here.
Okay.
Because we saw this with DizzySoft, it immediately
Yeah.
started tracking.
Yeah, that's like it's inconsistent.
Right. So I don't, well, DizzySoft, oh, here's the difference. DizzySoft didn't use Tag Manager to add the code.
But see, the opposite worked on mine. Mine used Google Tag Manager and it worked. And the one without didn't work.
Well, this is using the old Monster Insights plugin, not even SiteKit.
Uh-huh.
So very interesting. I mean, we've been sitting here and there's no visits.
Nothing.
So thanks for showing up today. I'm glad we have all of our questions answered,
Yes.
and it's now perfectly clear how confusing GA4 is.
Mm-hmm.
Nice,
So great.
Yeah, the one thing I'm wondering is, I see some people setting up sites that only have GA4 and, are they even set up right? Are they collecting data and they're probably not getting reports because they don't have the universal? So
But we haven't determined why, what's the difference here?
I
The
don't
difference
know.
in these two sites is one is using Tag Manager, one is not.
Yeah.
But you said it was the opposite for you. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's always a best practice whenever you sign up a new Google Analytics profile to look in real time and to click on a few pages and watch and see that you're
Yeah.
collecting data. And that should immediately tell you if there's a problem.
Yeah.
And so, great, we've used the tool, we've identified a problem, but we don't know the solution yet.
Know what it
You had
is.
to
Yeah.
figure out, what is the difference? Or maybe we're going to have to go into Tag Manager and add the GA4 code.
Mm-hmm.
But theoretically, it said it would start collecting data.
Yeah. Well, and it did on DisySoft. So
Right.
what? Yeah, it did.
So, okay, well, I will go and look at this a couple times between now and the next meeting and see if this happens to start collecting data. I don't think it will, because I saw this before and I thought it was done
Mhm.
and it wasn't. A week later,
Mhm.
it still didn't have data.
Yeah.
And we'll try to figure out what it is. So if homework assignment for everybody is, let's try to install GA4 on our sites. And let's so Allie, you can use this video to review it, right? To make
Mhm.
sure you're doing it right. If we're adding something new, so it's not going to break anything that already exists.
Mhm.
So rest assured, I don't think it's going to be that bad. But
Okay.
if we put all of our heads together and figure out what's different, like I will do this on a couple other sites
Mhm.
that I control as well between now and next week. And if we just put our data together, I think we can try to figure out what's consistent, what's the problem.
Yeah. That's what I decided to do on my site first. So if I
Right.
messed up, it wasn't my client site and it went smoothly. And I'm like, oh, easy. And then I went to the other site and I'm like, why didn't it go easy?
Right.
So
All the more reason to make sure you have universal analytics set up on your site and working, because this is clearly
not
not
ready.
ready yet. I'm very disappointed that Google Analytics is forcing people into this, because I'm with you, Trisha. It is malpractice if you're promising people website traffic and they follow the directions and they get buckus.
Exactly.
I'd
Yeah.
be furious
Yeah.
if this was my only means to track traffic to this site.
Yeah.
Now, they might say, well, it's free. You get what you pay for, which is still very disappointing. Like,
Yeah.
Get your
It's
act together,
Google.
Google.
Get it together.
get it together. You made a record amount of money last quarter. Get your
Yes.
shit together.
Exactly.
All right. I know we're wrapping up, but I gotta hop off because I got
Yeah.
my blood donation appointment.
All right. Happy Taco Tuesday or Taco Wednesday, Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Mexican Food Day.
I'll see you next
Yes.
week, everyone.
The day that no one really knows why we celebrate, and most people I know from Mexico don't celebrate either.
Right.
But alas, thank you everybody for your time. Sorry we didn't have a clear answer, but I think we're getting closer to figuring stuff out.
Yep.
All right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great week. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.